Hello and welcome to the 36th episode of the Backburners. I'm Dylan Sherman.
I'm Miles Walton.
And I'm Sam Tiller, and we want to thank you for lending your ears for another hour of non-stop sports entertainment.
You know, you stopped saying non-stop.
Yeah, and I'm pronunciating it more, and it's like more, it's super articulate.
I don't know. I think you should revert back.
No, he's got to make it authentic now. Now it's known.
Speaking of authentic, shall we kick off tonight's episode with another episode of Zoom Background of the Week? This special boy has some of the worst jokes you've ever heard. He's in the studio as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Where did you even get that?
I love it.
I have my sources.
Facebook.
Yeah, you
That's
on
cute.
my mom's Facebook?
What's that, like elementary school swim team or something?
That looks like it might just be in the jacuzzi.
Might have
You
been.
look super young.
You know what?
I feel like
You know what? That might be my brother.
That's not Carter, that's you. That looks like you.
No, that's me.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
We looked very
I will
similar
say,
at that age.
We are going to the Walton family cabin in the next couple weeks, and there's a bunch of family photos laying around that place. So I'll be on the lookout for some good backgrounds.
So clearly
Yeah,
clearly this wasn't sent in. You decided to pick your own this time again.
he literally forgot about it. He was scrambling to get it done.
I'm still not positive
I've
that's
had
me.
this. I've had this for a little bit. I have my ways.
So most likely me, possibly my brother. I'm still not positive.
You don't.
It's one of you two. I mean,
you don't recognize yourself.
Look at that. That's. I feel like that's
The only the eyes. I think it's me because of the eyes. I can see.
You
through
can't
the goggles.
see your eyes.
I can see through the goggles a little bit, just enough.
The real question here is, why were you wearing goggles in a jacuzzi?
Probably some breath training activity.
Don't make it
You're
sound
not.
cool.
You're not being serious. You were afraid of getting water in your eyes as a child.
Absolutely
Don't
not.
tell
No,
us-
actually, you know what I was doing? I used to blow these like underwater rings in the water, and like they get pretty sweet. Actually, have you ever seen?
Oh, I've
videos
done
of
that before. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You go to like the very
That is
bottom.
the least surprising thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Well, it's literally the exact same thing as blowing O's with a vape, but it's underwater and it like looks a lot cooler.
They're so clean. Like they're just perfectly round. And they go all the way
Don't
up
make
to the
it sound
surface,
like you
get
were
bigger
doing-
and bigger and bigger.
Don't make it sound like you were doing SEAL training, okay? In your little jacuzzi. You weren't, going out on a mission.
Not at that age. Not yet.
No. No. How has it been without me?
Quiet, which is nice.
Super quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you missing someone?
Nope.
Someone special?
Nope, we're
No?
not. And it seems like we got a third roomie lined up. So our problems have been solved.
Well, if your problems haven't been solved, let me tell you,
What a
Chillo,
transition.
the Chillo app. Do you need a roommate, or are you looking to find a new place to live that is actually within your budget? Searching for a place to live and who to share it with adds stress to your already busy life. Chillo is here to cure that headache. Introducing the Chillo app, a place to find a roommate and a rental home on the same platform. Finding a roommate on Chillo is fast and easy. Simply create your profile, swipe through potential roommates, match, message, and meet. Need a place to live? View listings for rental homes and message verified landlords on the Chillo app. Find your next roommate or place to live on Chillo. For every app download, Chillo is now donating $1 to Catch Idaho, a local nonprofit dedicated to ending homelessness in Idaho. Download in the iOS App Store today.
That was
Impressive.
you know what? It sounded like you were doing an improv like comedy like warm up. But it was good.
Yeah, it was a rough start, but I got in there. It's always funny to kind of challenge myself because I hear all these other people do ad reads all the time, and then I like think I'm better at it than them, but I've like only done it like once or twice, and so I like to prove that I'm decent.
Well, the transition was beautiful.
It was.
Thank
Spot
you.
on.
Yeah,
It
you didn't even
was.
know what was happening.
I had no
Halfway
idea.
through, you're like, wait, this is an ad read? What?
It was quite good. Nice work, Fabio.
Thank you.
Well, What do we got tonight? We have no intern report.
No intern report.
What's on the burner for tonight?
She's
we need
just
to start using that more.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, what's cooking tonight?
Yeah.
What's on the burner?
Ooh,
The front right burner.
cooking?
Yeah. What was cooking tonight for me and Miles was elk burgers.
Last minute elk burgers.
Last minute elk burgers.
Stuff them down quick.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. I miss elk burgers.
Well.
You guys not have elk in? There's no elk in Texas, are there?
Oh, there's a shitload.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
but
thought
they're
they
all
just
on-
have- I
they're
thought they
all
just
on
have wild
ranches.
hogs.
I mean, there's a lot of those too, but a lot of the elk are on like ranches and stuff. They're like farm
Yeah.
raised.
I did have some birria tacos tonight, so I'm not totally
yeah, what are you
disappointed.
bitching
But
about?
Were those the
Well,
tacos
you know,
you were upset that we had the other night?
yes.
You made them yourself?
Yes. Nope. There's a really good truck right across from my apartment.
Oh,
and,
those are probably
went for
better
the
than the
first
ones
time.
we had. Even though ours were very, very good, and the
They
person
were.
that made them is not here, but
So we can shit on them.
Oh
all we
yeah.
want.
oh, that's true. Yeah, the tacos were trash.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is in the burner tonight? Well, I know what's up first. Mom's spaghetti.
Mama's spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti. We should. I think we should change that sound to a more stereotypical Italian. You know, dun, 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 dun.
We could.
It's like
Anyway.
dun, da, 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 da.
yeah.
And it's just like, you're like, it's gonna be some Italian guy, and it's just Eminem.
Find an Italian guy to rap Eminem.
Ooh, I don't know any Italians, but I'll make some calls.
Find Tony Soprano. Anyways, who wants to kick off Mom's spaghetti?
I'll kick it off.
All right.
So my mom's spaghetti is the LA Lakers, and they're not having a great year, and
No.
that's why it's my mom's spaghetti. And recently, they have been beefing with their own fans. They had a game this weekend in Crypto.com Arena, and LeBron was jawing at fans. Westbrook was jawing at fans. Like, it is not a good situation in LA, and I love to see it. And here's why. Because LeBron's reputation everywhere he goes gets worse and worse and worse. Because every time he goes somewhere and then leaves, they are worse off than before they got him. He crumbles organizations. He crumbles teams. He fucks over coaches because if he doesn't like them, he gets them fired. And then they bring in a coach that's like okay and willing to do all this stupid shit for him, like bring in a bunch of old ass, washed up, used to be all-stars and think they can win a championship. And you got street clothes Anthony Davis over there, can't stay healthy for more than 2 games at a time. I love seeing the Lakers and specifically LeBron just suck so much. And I couldn't be happier. They're like, what, 28 and 33, 34, something like that. They're ass. They're not winning the play-in game. If they even get into the play-in game, they suck. Thank
There's like
God.
a whole nother level of passion in you when it comes to shitting on LeBron.
Because he's a piece of shit. There's no doubt about it. He is the most selfish NBA player of all time. He had a quote the other day, and he was talking about Luka Doncic, and great player, one of the biggest rising stars in the NBA. And he said, like, yeah, he's great. He can change the game. Me and him, really similar. We can put 40 down your face, but we can also, like, distribute the ball and grab 10 rebounds. And it's like, why did you also have to make that comment about you? Why
Right.
couldn't you just talk about how great Luka's playing? Because he's having a great year. He's working his way into the MVP conversation. Just appreciate other players. Don't make everything about you. God, I hate that guy.
It's weird how eloquent you become.
So
For
thoughtful.
how angry
with-
that was, it was very well spoken.
It was.
Thank you.
It was very put together,
I-
methodical,
well,
and thoughtful.
Here's the thing. The people that love LeBron love him. And the people that hate him, hate him. So I hate him so much that I argue with people that love him all the time. So I have to, like, come up with well thought out arguments as to why he sucks and why he's a piece of shit.
So you're
And
prepared.
so I have a lot of time to think about these things because I hate the guy more than any other athlete that's ever walked the face of the earth.
Yeah. I don't like LeBron that much either. I mean, I think the fans were booing the whole team, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like,
I'm not-
why is he engaging with fans?
Yeah, that's true. I'm not a big fan of LeBron. I'm not a big fan of the NBA, and
Yeah.
I'll just lead right into my mom's spaghetti. Not a big fan of the NBA. I rarely watch it, but I love watching Ja Morant's highlights.
He's a monster.
He is unreal. Like, if it was just highlights of him all day, I would watch it every day. Put up 52 points the other day and had an insane last-minute shot. You see that pass?
No, I did not.
I don't know if it was
Yes.
at the end of the half or at the end of the game. Got a full court pass with like 1 second left. Caught the ball mid-air, shot it, went in. It was unbelievable. And the hops on that guy.
Dude,
He can jump. It's
Yeah.
unreal.
He's got crazy jumps.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the NBA, but that guy is definitely fun to watch.
He has so many like almost posters, and one of these times he's gonna just absolutely obliterate a 7-2 center, and it's gonna be the most insane dunk of all time because he's like been so close so many times, and yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, he's unreal. He's got bunnies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Little bunnies in those legs helping him out.
The Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
It could be the Energizer Bunny. Bunny and his brother.
Yeah.
For my mom's spaghetti, over the weekend, there was a pretty amazing moment that happened in sports, and it happened in a soccer match. Here's me talking about a soccer match.
I know, it's shocking.
So
Good thing it's
there
on
is-
YouTube. Never goes away. We can just come back to it.
I know. So there is a player on the Primera Liga club Benfica.
It's the
And his name
Premier
is-
League.
Is it? Well, I'm looking at Primera Liga club SL Benfica.
Oh, that's okay. I thought you were talking about
It's
the
not
English.
the Premier
Yeah,
League.
okay, gotcha.
It's not the Premier League. There is a Ukrainian soccer player named Roman Yaremchuk, and he subbed into the match, and there was a massive applause that broke out. He was given the captain's band, especially with, obviously what's going on over right now in Ukraine and Russia and everything. It's pretty incredible. I was watching the video earlier, and even I got goosebumps, and I mean, some things are bigger than sports, and I think that moments like these are why we watch them for moments like these. It was unbelievable, and I encourage anybody to watch that clip. It's unbelievable, inspiring, and it just amazing, really.
So this might sound really stupid. Why was he being applauded? I have no idea who this guy is.
Because he's from Ukraine.
Because he's a
Oh.
Ukrainian soccer player, and,
Okay.
and given the world events happening right now, the crowd
Right.
gave him a massive
is very
standing.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how like the sports world responds to major world events. Like there's a lot of stuff going on the world, like sports news that is about like they're banning Russian players from events. They're canceling world events that are in Russia. Like there's just a lot of stuff going on, and I feel like it does it does make an impact because like regardless of what like the leader of that country thinks, like your citizens enjoy that stuff, and if you're taking those opportunities away from your citizens, they're not going to be happy.
My biggest reason that I like shit on sports in general is because they're so like everyone just is so like things are so important, I guess, and they're such a big part of our culture and everything like that. And for as much as I hate on them and stuff, like it actually does, like when people do like these social initiatives and stuff like through sports, it actually like works way more than like celebrities on Instagram or any shit like that. Like in sports,
Yeah.
it actually works because there's so many like fans that see that shit on a weekly basis that they're like, oh, like if all my like favorite boys on the team like think this way, then I should probably think that way too. And it actually has way more of an impact than a bunch of other like famous people, I guess, trying to like do stuff like this. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think, and to your point, Fabio, I mean, when you see, celebrities or social media, call them, I don't know, initiatives or reach outs, I think what makes it so much different than those is that moments like these are like human experiences. Like that's
Yeah.
somebody,
Mhm.
surrounded
PR
in a
team.
stadium.
It's not a PR team
No.
telling him what to do. That's a player
Yeah.
being like, you know what? Fuck my team. Fuck the NFL. This is what I think. Or, I mean, soccer in this case. But, like, it's everyone saying, like, fuck all my organizations and how I get paid. And, like, this is what I'm going to use my platform responsibly, basically. But
Right. I mean, but even in that, in Roman Yaremchuk's shoes, he's having a human experience walking out into the pitch and hearing thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people who don't know him, who maybe have never seen him play, cheer him on because, out of support of what's happening right now. It's unbelievable. And I encourage anybody.
this is so like less important, but it just completely reminds me of Ted Lasso when the one character, they're doing the oil field things or whatever in Saudi Arabia, and the one player on the team, everyone on his team like rips off the sponsorship logo off their jersey, and they're like, you know what, I don't want their sponsorship, like they're hurting my teammates' family and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of the same, basically just a real life example of the exact same thing that happened in the show.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Well, and there was a Russian tennis player that won a game the other day, and he walked up to one of the cameras with a marker and wrote "No war, please" on it.
Wow.
Flex.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool seeing those people come together and cheering that guy on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to our favorite segment. Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
It seems like you have
him back on the.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we need him back on the show soon.
Yeah.
We haven't got a good Florida update in a while.
Yeah, and we haven't done a call-in in a minute.
We haven't. Well, because Sherm's been our call-in.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabio,
feel free
I
to send
wanted
that Zoom link out to whoever you want. Just have some randos hopping in.
I have a bunch of my coworkers.
Troy Aikman, but someone fell through.
Listen, if you were in my shoes, you would have shit your pants too. I have a bunch of coworkers who want to come on. I have a coworker who is a horse girl, so she wants to talk about horses, and then I have another coworker who also wants to come on. But
might have another Boise State player coming on in the near future too.
Yeah, I saw.
We might.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that after. We don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
but
we might. Anyways, who would like to kick off? Are you serious? Mai, how about you?
Sure. Yeah. My Are You Serious? Back to basketball, but we're going to college this time. Top 6 college basketball teams all lost on Saturday. First time ever the top 6 teams have all lost on the same day. And some of these games were very surprising. Although St. Mary's is a great team, they beat Gonzaga by 10. There's your number 1 off the board. Arizona lost to Colorado by 16.
Yeah,
that was embarrassing. Auburn loses to Tennessee by 6. Purdue loses to Michigan State by 3. Kansas to Baylor by 10. And Kentucky loses to Arkansas by 2.
Yeah, it was a wild weekend of college basketball.
Yeah, chances are if you were watching college basketball on Saturday, top 10 team lost.
When does March Madness officially start?
2 weeks.
2 weeks till the tournament?
Mm-hmm. We got conference tournaments starting next week.
Cool. We're going to do a bracket here or something?
Yeah, we should.
We're going to have to.
We could make our picks live, make it a whole episode.
Fill out brackets live. That would take forever.
Yeah.
Well, we do at least need to fill them out and go over. We need like security, I guess, that everyone's brackets were made before the tournament started and stuff. So we should probably do a public announcement of everyone's. At least just post some pictures of them on the Instagram or something like that.
There you go.
I'm down.
And then what should we do? A little competition?
Yeah, you can do like those competitions through like the ESPN app. So like we should all just like join up like the 3 of us in a league and then see who gets the best.
Right, but I'm saying there should be a reward,
a prize.
Mm.
And a punishment.
Should we do a reward or a punishment?
Or both?
I feel like a punishment for last is always way more fun than a reward for first.
Is it just out of us 3?
And probably the intern.
And
I'll join in if you want.
There you go.
Fabio, there you go.
Boom.
Okay. And we should.
I'll have just zero knowledge of anything.
You don't need it. Yeah. You really do not.
You really, I think I actually have probably the
luck.
best chance because I have zero idea what's happening.
Yeah, and zero bias.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the only bias is like I'll probably put Gonzaga a little higher than the rest of them, but
You'll be
they're
able to
very
see
good though.
You can
exactly.
see the seating, but in March Madness, that doesn't mean much.
No.
Look at Sherm's face. Oh, he froze for a sec. That was pretty funny.
I keep freezing.
All right. Taylor, are you serious?
This one isn't kind of funny. It's more sad. Weston McKennie, the U.S. national midfielder, broke his foot last week in a club game. Not good for the U.S., considering that in 2 weeks we have to go to Mexico City and play Mexico. Then we're home against Panama, and then we are away against Costa Rica in the final window of World Cup qualifying. And we have not solidified our spot in the World Cup yet. And he is arguably our best and most important player on that team. So without him, this window just got a whole lot harder. It was going to be hard no matter what, because that's teams 3 through 5 on the CONCACAF table. We historically struggle in places like Mexico City and Costa Rica, and then Panama is playing very good football right now. So not having him is going to be super tough, and it makes me more nervous for those games in 3 weeks.
What position does he play?
He plays midfield,
Okay.
and he's damn good at it.
And all those games are 3 weeks away?
Yes, they'll play on like Thursday, March 24th, I think is the first game, and then it's like the following Sunday, and then the next Wednesday.
Yeah, so he's not gonna make it.
No, his broken foot's gonna keep him out like 2-3 months.
Yeah, bummer.
Yeah, not good.
Well, that's just really sad.
If we don't make the World Cup, I'm gonna cry. Legitimately,
I don't want to root against my own country, but I would like to see you cry.
I'll cry on this show.
Please do. Okay. For my Are You Serious? Oh, so Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson was once the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, who didn't win a lot of football games while he was at the helm. He was let go. He is now the head ball coach at Grambling State. And recently, he tried to hire Art Briles as his offensive coordinator. Now, who's Art Briles? Well, he's also a fucking scumbag. Art Briles, from 2008 to 2015, was the head football coach at Baylor University. He won a lot of football games, but his program was plagued and poisoned by dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of sexual assaults from his players. He was fired. He clearly hid and swept under the rug and downplayed all of the things that happened. And there were tens of dozens of lawsuits and lots of charges. Yeah, that's pretty serious. You know what I have to say? Are you serious?
Yeah,
you serious?
It's not a good look.
So,
and what I came to learn, sorry, my, this isn't the first time that Art Briles has tried to come back into the game. In 2017, he was going to be hired by the Hamilton Tiger Cats of the Canadian Football League, and the same thing happened. He was offered the job, word got out, and the entire world was like, fuck that. And he had to resign. And so in this case, Art Briles, before even getting a paycheck, before even stepping foot on campus, he resigned due to not wanting to be a distraction. So, yeah, what the fuck? And Hugh Jackson put out this crazy statement, it's all about, redemption and giving second chances and saying, he's a good citizen and he's learned a lot. And it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's not a great look for Hugh Jackson.
where did you say Hugh Jackson was right now?
Grambling State.
He's at
Okay.
Grambling State.
It's tiny. It's not a D1 school.
Yeah. Wow.
Are you serious?
Tough.
Are you serious?
Super tough.
Yeah, not good is what I say. But yeah, that was pretty fucking insane.
I mean, Urban Meyer got hired again.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But his was more like, at least at Florida, it was like recruiting allegations and stuff. It was afterwards that a bunch of his players got arrested. So like once they got out of Florida, then they all murdered people and got arrested.
Don't get me started on Urban Meyer. Scrooge of the year.
Yeah, that guy's a joke. Along with Art Briles.
Along with Art Briles. Fuck that guy. Anyways, there are a lot of non-football related things happening in the world of sports right now. Some massive headlines, and we should probably talk about a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the PGA versus the Saudi Golf League.
Yeah, let's.
Would you like to start it, my friend?
Sure. So I mean I've been hearing about this for a week and a half, and like I have like really no idea what's going on. And then I did some reading today, and basically it just seems like the PGA is trying to like stifle competition because the Saudi League is saying that you can sign contracts with us to come play for us, and you can still play on the PGA, because to be a member of the PGA, you have to play in 15 courses or 15 matches throughout the season, and you have to play at the 4 Masters. So the Saudi League is saying that they want to bring in the top golfers into their league and then still let them play in the PGA. And obviously the PGA is mad about that, because then not every single weekend is going to be top-tier golf, and that's going to hurt their revenue stream a lot. And then just the whole legal battle with them saying that they're going to ban these golfers for life from the PGA when they're not under contract. That's not a legal thing that they can do. So that's what I understand about it. It's more of like a legal battle, and the PGA not wanting to lose a bunch of money is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I mean, there was a letter written by former world number 1, Greg Norman, and he wrote a letter to Jay Monahan, who's the commissioner of the PGA, and basically went scorched earth on him.
Yeah.
And, it kind of basically summing up what you said is, saying that you're trying to stifle competition. You're trying to become essentially a monopoly. And he writes, most notably, imposing a lifetime ban on players would trigger a slam dunk antitrust lawsuit by the players, by the new Saudi League, or even federal antitrust enforcers who have made it a priority to protect workers' ability to ply their trade for whomever they please. So essentially, right, if we don't know, PGA Tour golfers are considered what, contractors?
Yeah,
right?
They're private contractors. They don't sign contracts with the PGA like NFL or NBA players sign contracts with teams.
Right, which is why they get to be selective in what tournaments they play. Whereas I think as opposed to the Saudi Golf League, or maybe it wasn't this, but it was maybe another. There was another conversation a while ago where there was another league who was, maybe it was the Saudi League, who essentially was like, if you join our league, you have to play, much like any other professional sports league. Like if you're coming to play with us, you play in every single tournament that we have. Right,
but the difference is right now the PGA doesn't pay them like a set salary, and the Saudi League would. So if you sign with the Saudi League, you get like a salary, and then there's also weekend earnings as well. Like if you win the golf tournament, then it's like a bonus on top of it. But there would be like a set number of dollars that you would make by signing with the Saudi League.
Yeah. It's like a substantial amount.
Yeah.
So like from the player's perspective, there's a big incentive to go play there. And like personally, I think it's more of the player's choice. Like,
yeah, it absolutely is.
If they want to go play for the Saudi League, I think they should be able to, especially with this financial incentive to do so, because the PGA is not paying them unless they do well, correct?
Yeah, you don't get paid unless you make the weekend cut. So if
Right.
you don't make the weekend, you don't get a paycheck.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, I was talking to you about this earlier, but there's other sports like Supercross, for example, where there's multiple leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Supercross is half the year, and then they do motocross, which is similar, but it's outdoors. The tracks are longer. And, you know, if anything, that just expands the sport. You know, you can view it more. There's more events going on. So in my opinion, it would just make this sport larger. You get more people interested, and it'd be better for everyone at the end of the day. I understand where the PGA is coming from, but I think it'd be cool to have another, you know, league for golfers to play in.
Sounds like the PGA's problem. Like,
Yeah.
make your league
It is
more,
the
like,
PGA's
yeah,
problem.
like make your league more inviting. Like, why? I don't know. If people don't want to play in your league, I don't think that's the player's fault.
No.
I mean, we would probably. I mean, I think we do have to mention. I don't even really know the full extent of it, but I think a huge part of why this is super contentious is because, and this is what got Phil Mickelson in some pretty hot water. Is there's been a large, a really complicated history in Saudi Arabia with human rights violations and some crazy, terrible shit that's happened to people there. And that's essentially what Phil Mickelson was saying in his comments. So he was asked about if he was going to join the league, and he, you know, kind of was saying what we've been saying, like, yeah, you know, it's competition, you can earn more money, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, yeah, there's massive human rights violations, and it's, you know, terrifying to see what's going on over there. But why wouldn't I join?
Yeah.
Which is
So
what got him in hot water.
yeah, so I have the quote. So he said, "They're scary motherfuckers to get involved with. We know they killed Washington Post reporter and U.S. resident Jamal Khashoggi and have horrible record on human rights. They execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all of this, why would I even consider it? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates. They've been able to get by with manipulative, corrosive, strong-arm tactics because we, the players, had no resource. As nice of a guy as PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan comes across as, unless you have leverage, he won't do what's right. And the Saudi money has finally given us that leverage. I'm not sure I will even want the SGL, the Saudi Golf League, to succeed, but just the idea of it is allowing us to get things done with the PGA Tour." So basically, he's saying that the players should use this as leverage against the PGA, which
And
I don't disagree with, and I don't know why people are so mad at him for saying this.
Well, I think it's because I don't know if he tweeted it out or if it was during an interview. But
It was an interview
like,
back in November, and then the comments were just made public like last week.
I think it probably. I mean, I haven't watched the video, but what it sounds like, just, you know, hearing it and reading it, it sounds like he like addresses the fact that there are terrible things that's happened over there, but he's like, well, you know, but I can still do it, you know.
Right.
It's like, maybe it's not that big of a deal.
But then it's kind of you're taking like a snippet out of the quote and like putting it in mixed context, because then he says like, we're like, unless you have leverage, he won't do what's right, and the Saudi money finally gives us that leverage. So he's not saying that he's going to join it. He's saying that it's something that they can use to their advantage.
It's like the PGA is getting scared, and that's a good thing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because now for the first time ever, the players have the leverage against the PGA. He didn't say, regardless of all this stuff, I'm going to join it. He said we're going to threaten to join it, basically, to use it as leverage.
So is he wanting the PGA to change in that they're not getting paid unless
I don't
they
know.
make the weekend?
I have no idea.
Yeah. But he wants change in the PGA and wants to use this as a leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I never looked. You don't really think about the PGA as like in regards to like as a league, is where we think of like the NFL, the MLB, or the NBA. I feel like I never think about it as it's still an association, because there's not really, at least what I've noticed, not a whole lot of like drama or you don't really. This is the first time I've ever heard of the commissioner of the PGA's name.
Yeah, same.
So I didn't realize that that it was so bad for the players. But yeah, I think it's pretty ongoing. I'm wondering if there's going to be lawsuits.
What would
Who
there be
knows?
lawsuits over?
Over if the PGA ends up banning anybody who attempts to go to the Saudi Golf League.
Oh, then people are going to be suing the PGA.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Right, because they're contractors. You can't ban.
You can't ban somebody that doesn't work for you from working for somebody else, basically.
Yeah, as an independent contractor, you're a 1099 employee in the United States, so you have the right to work wherever you want for as many people as you want.
Exactly.
What else in other news? Baseball's dead.
No more baseball.
Yeah. I tried to get a better understanding of this today too, and I read a very long article, and it just made me even more confused. I don't really know what's going on.
I liked your idea. I think you briefly mentioned it in a previous episode, or maybe it was just to us, but if the players don't want to play, find people that will.
Yeah.
Take them off the streets.
Get some replacements in there. It should be fun.
I think the players are walking on thin ice here because with the MLB, it's one of the only sports left, I think, that I can think of that doesn't have a cap on how much the players can get paid, how much the teams can spend. And like this could easily turn into that happening.
Yes. So they do not have a cap. It is an uncapped sport. They do, however, have like a luxury tax cap. And I don't know what the number is, but it's...
What does luxury tax mean?
So it like if you go over it, you're going to like pay like
more taxes.
And if you go like way over it, you lose draft picks and all that stuff. So it's like penalizing teams for going over, but
they can still do it.
But they can still do it.
Yeah.
And so super rich teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Astros, they can all afford to do this, and that's why like they're dominating baseball right now. And the other problem that the players have is tanking. And every other major American sport has a cap floor. So you have to spend a certain amount of money. Baseball doesn't. The Pirates, total payroll last year, $50.3 million. And they were horrible. The Dodgers spent like 4 times as much as they did. And they're doing it to tank. And so that's what the players want, like a cap floor as well as a cap ceiling to make the game more competitive is kind of what I got from it.
Oh, they want a cap ceiling?
Yes.
Okay. See, the way I was thinking about it was like, if you're really good in the MLB right now, you're going to be paid a lot of money because there's no cap.
Yeah.
And I guess you're right. That turns around to the players that are on the teams that aren't doing well and don't have that money to pay them. But like, I feel like if there was a cap, certain players would be making a lot less money.
Yeah, I think it would.
Yeah, they would.
It would increase the wealth gap between the players, I think.
Yeah, it would, but it would make the sport overall more competitive because you wouldn't have teams spending $50 million on their players when the Dodgers are spending $200 million. Clearly,
if every team was only allowed to spend $10 million, then you might get a more competitive like crop of talent, basically.
Exactly.
Like
like you have to have the NFL does this. You have to have a cap ceiling. You can't spend over it, and there's a cap floor.
Is that per team or per player though?
That's per team.
Gotcha. So they could pay one player $50 million a year and pay the rest of them like $100K if they wanted to.
Exactly. But basically, the point of the cap floor is to prevent you from just dumping all of your good players, signing a bunch of scrubs on minimum contracts,
and having 2 just rock stars that run the whole thing.
No, and like purposely sucking for like years in a row to get consistent number 1 overall draft picks.
People do that?
Yes.
And to save money for later years.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what tanking is.
Does the cap rolls over?
Yes, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, if you're only spending the minimum, let's say, and you're doing that even though you have more money, you can use more money the next year as long as you don't go over the cap.
So the money rolls over basically.
I don't
To
The
think
money
following
you
year.
have rolls over.
no.
Well, we're okay.
The cap in the NFL this year was like 100.
It's a yearly cap.
It's a yearly cap set by the NFL, and then the NFL gives the teams that money
Oh,
to spend. So like if you're not spending your full cap, you're like basically like wasting money or wasting resources.
interesting.
I'm picturing like a video game, like a sports video game, like 2K, where you have to like draft your whole team, and like the game gives you like a set amount of money. But
Yep.
in the MLB, you just get unlimited money. So it's like, all right, just stack it up.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right,
However much you
'cause-
got, you can spend.
Right. I mean, and the reason those like the MLB has no cap is because their season is usually April to October. So 162 regular season games. They have massive TV deals with
Yeah.
ESPN, Fox. So like they are, and you see the baseball these baseball contracts for like $400 million. Multiple players have like upwards of like $250 million contracts, and that is not a thing in any other sport.
No.
Not even football, which is way bigger, or I guess you could say more popular of a league. It's crazy, these baseball contracts.
Yeah, it is. And the thing that the players are the most upset about is the revenue share, because MLB revenue increased by 53% between 2012 and 2019, and salaries decreased by 5% from 2015 to 2021. So the MLB is making a shitload of money, and they're not sharing the revenue with the players, and that's why that's the big part of this strike that's going on right now. It's all about revenue share.
So apparently the average MLB player makes $1.6 million a year. The average NFL player makes $186,000 a year.
Yep.
And I don't know how
It's like
I mean,
$1
there's
million
more
gap.
players on an NFL team than a MLB team, obviously, but I mean, still that math doesn't, like 4 times the amount for an MLB player is like pretty crazy, especially because NFL is like more popular, honestly.
It is.
Yeah, and I don't know the standard or the veteran minimum contract in the NFL. I think it's like $800,000 or $700,000 or something like that. I don't know that for baseball, but it is pretty crazy.
Fabio, I'm curious. Can you find the highest paid baseball player?
Oh yeah, we're just putting in requests now for sure.
Isn't it?
It was probably Mike Trout. I mean, no.
Giancarlo Stanton is
Yeah,
ridiculously high paid.
Max Scherzer.
Scherzer, he's a
Scherzer. pitcher.
New York Mets, $43 million
a year.
Yeah, and then Garrett Cole was $36 million.
Wow.
Mike Trout is in third at $35.5 million.
Yeah, it's insane.
And that's all of this year's players. So
Yep. I just remember
Jeez.
when Giancarlo Stanton signed that contract with the Miami Marlins, it was like a 8-year, $600 million contract. Like, it was just absurd. It was absurdly big.
Yeah, and you said Pittsburgh spent $50 million?
Yep.
So that's like 6% of their budget.
Yeah.
On one player if they wanted to
Right.
buy.
yeah, I can imagine
Mike
playing on
Trout
that
or
team
something.
and just being like, "Oh, what do you guys make?" And everyone's like, "I make like $60K a year." And then the one player's like, "Oh yeah, because I took all of your guys' salaries, by the
Yeah.
way."
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, like because I had no idea how big those baseball contracts were until Robinson Cano, who was the second baseman for the Yankees, got traded to the Mariners, and they signed him to like a 10-year, $250 million contract, and you're just like, holy shit!
Yeah.
And then he got suspended for steroids.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool.
Love it.
A 10-year contract? They don't even do 10 years in the NFL, do they?
Patrick Mahomes signed a 10-year,
Mahomes.
$500 million
10-year.
contract, but that was the first one ever.
Yeah. But baseball, you get a little bit more longevity out of the players, right?
Yeah, you 100% do.
Shall we conclude tonight with something very exciting that's happening this month?
Yeah.
I have never
It's
been
back.
so excited for the start of a sports season ever.
I'm pretty hyped.
I'm
I am-
super hyped. And if you don't know what we're talking about, F1, baby. Bahrain Grand Prix, March 20th. Let's go. They had their first practice in Barcelona What was it, last week?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last week. They had 3 days of practice. And, bunch of new regulations this year. New cars, all kinds of
Did
fun
they fix
stuff.
all the controversy from the end of last season?
They
Kinda.
didn't really fix it. They just
did-
fired the guy that made the decision.
Yeah.
That's a good. I mean, that's a fix, you know.
Yeah. But, it was an entertaining practice, to say the least. And we got another one coming up next week.
Yeah.
And then we're just hopping right into F1 races at 5 a.m. on Sundays. I can't wait to get up at the butt crack of dawn.
It'll be way worth it.
Yeah.
Mercedes might have a year.
Yeah. I mean, because like the first 2 days of the practice, everybody was super hyped on McLaren and Ferrari. And then the third day, Mercedes and Red Bull flexed their muscles a little bit. And we're like, we're still the best. Relax.
Red Bull flexed their wings.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I want it to be close. It would be so cool if at the end of the year, going in last race, Abu Dhabi, there was like a 3 or 4-way race.
Yeah.
3 or 4 teams were still in it. And I think that's what everyone wants to see. But I'm kind of sick of the Mercedes and Red Bull at the top every year.
Yeah. I think that's what the sports wants. Like the F1 committee wants as well, because that's why they did these regulations.
Yeah.
Just shorten the gap.
Yeah.
How do we make a team? How do we get in on this?
A lot of money.
First of all, you need to be a billionaire.
Billionaire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two Bears Racing?
Yeah.
So just looking at the standings from the first practice. I mean, obviously Mercedes 1 and 2 with Hamilton and Russell. What's really interesting is that both the Williams cars beat McLaren in the first practice. Alex Albon and Nicholas Latifi placed 8 and 9, and Ricciardo and Lando Norris 10 and 11.
That was the very first practice?
From the first test, yeah.
Okay. I think I might be wrong, but I think like Mercedes, for example, didn't really show their speed till the third practice. And I
Yeah.
think that's got some strategy to it. I think teams do that on purpose. It's testing. They're doing a lot of aerodynamic stuff, trying to figure out what works with the car.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it is cool to see a team like Williams performing that well. But, yeah, I think a lot of it is just strategy with testing.
Yeah. I think this next testing session that's coming up, we're going to see them pushing the cars more, because the first testing session is like about getting like the tweaks out of the car and like, fixing like the problems that you don't want to deal with in race when the first race weekend gets here. And then third practice comes, like you actually want to see like what your car can, or the next practice session comes, you want to see what your car can do.
Yeah.
So I think the practice session or the testing session coming up is going to be a little more high speed, and we're going to actually see what these cars can do.
I agree.
Very exciting.
Super exciting. Can't wait.
And with that, we are out of show.
We are. Anything else from anyone?
Go Trojans. God. You gave me the chance that time.
I know.
You looked at me.
I need to.
Anyone else from anyone, Miles? Go Trojans.
Sherm, anything?
No, I'm good, man.
All right. And that will conclude another spectacular episode of The Backburners. Shout out to the ugliest co-host of all time, Pinhead Larry, the right front burner, Miles, the intern, and our wonderful producer, Fabio. Make sure to give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok at The Backburners Pod, and listen to us on your favorite streaming service. We're The Backburners, and we'll catch you on the flippity flip.
Bye.